Hey, ladies and gentlemen, on the survivability of businesses. This is from www.sba.gov. So I don't know who they are or what they do, but they're a government website. Did you know that the vast majority of businesses that are started are closed within 10 or 20 years? Did you know businesses do not survive very well? Did you know the number of corporations more than 50 years old is exceedingly small compared to the number of corporations that exist and are started every year? Now, I want to point that out for those of you who wonder what's wrong with France today and stuff. They have rules in France that you cannot fire people, so you have to be very, very cautious at hiring. And that's a very, 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 very bad non-historical way to try to run the economy. Businesses have to fire people and they have to close down all the time. So constantly people have to find a new place to work. You don't have job security just because you've got a job. But in France they are French. So here are some statistics. Births of new companies, creation of new companies in 2004 compared to bankruptcies and closures. Bankruptcies is a smaller number than closures, about 10%. But I've added those two numbers together. 629,000 companies created, 575,000 closed or went bankrupt. So that's a net 54,000 new companies in 2004. But the number I want to bring to your notice is 575,000 companies that either closed down or went bankrupt and were liquidated. Now, similar numbers for the next year, but they've gone up about 20,000 in new ones started and down about 10,000 in the number closed. So 2005, not as many closed as the last year, and more were started, therefore 78,000 net were created. But and then 2006, 70,000 net, 2007, 60,000 net, that's an estimate, and 2008, 31,000 net created companies. So it went up during the boom, and now it's falling back down, and those are estimates for 2007 and 2008. But isn't that interesting that companies do not survive? That is the rule of thumb with a company. It doesn't survive. And this reminds a person sometimes maybe of nature, where in nature a spider will have 1,000 eggs and 80 or 90% of those little baby spiders are dead before they even get their first meal or whatever, before they even get to drive a car, you know. It's a massive number of casualties for the number of successes. And that is exactly what the business environment is. A healthy business environment is one that will allow you to start a business and try to make a go of it, and if not, you close it down, compared to countries where they require you to fund yourself for 3 or 4 years by law, and they require that you give people year-long contracts right to start off. And in America, you can hire people on, like Walmart, when Sam Walton gave some of his managers 5% stock in a new store that they would open, and so that would give them an absolute interest in making sure the store ran well, and they cut down on theft and stuff, instead of keeping all the wealth for himself. Whatever, don't go there. He spread the wealth around, but he got wealthy because his store succeeded, so it was obviously in his own interest to spread the wealth around. I won't have it be said that objectivists are selfish in a stupid, short-sighted way. They are rationally selfish, right? That's the only real way to be selfish. Think of someone like Sam Walton who's selfish, and he doesn't want his the store managers to have any of the stock. He keeps it all for himself, and his company never gets out of the Midwest. That's not very selfish. So anyways, back to the businesses. The basic point here is that they're going to die. You can't give job security. Job security is not something that the government should be into. And with the number of businesses cycling through like this, hundreds of thousands a year being started and hundreds of thousands a year closing, fast forward 10 or 20 years, and the business environment is going to look very, very different. It'll be amazing if IBM is still around. Although they've made it the last 50 years, so who knows. It'll be amazing if Apple is still around. And notice that the companies that are still around are massive companies, almost with a monopoly on what they're doing, like Ford, GM, and Dodge. They don't have a monopoly, I don't mean, but almost a monopoly, because it's so expensive to start up a new concern. You're going to start up and make automobiles. That's extraordinary. You're going to start up making computers. The time is done when you can do that in your garage. You can't start an automobile factory in your garage like Henry Ford did, or a computer company like Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs, or whoever, Steve Jobs or whatever happened. Yep, businesses fail, and the government's got to step out of the way and let them do that, or else we're going to have Depression-era unemployment like France does today.